രേഷ. ആഹാ, ഞാൻ വിളിക്കാം കേട്ടോ. ഞാനിപ്പോ മീറ്റിംഗിലാണ്, വിളിക്കാം. ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ 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 ഹരേ 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 രാമ 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 ഹരേ ഹരേ. जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुब्रह्मण्य जय सुदर्शना. जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमयी जय सुदर्शना. जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे. जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे. जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे. जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे. जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय निताय गौरा. हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल. जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद महाराज की. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्रीमद् दाम श्री गोस्वामी महाराज की. आनंद गौड़ी वैष्णव वृंद की. आचार्य दास ठाकुर की. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री द्वैत गदाधर श्री भक्तादि गौर भक्त वृंद की. Thy God Premanande, all glories to Sambhuti, glories to Sambhuti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhire. Nashtaprayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtigi. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Namah Pangajanabhaya Namah Pangajamalini Namah Pangajanetraya Namaste Pangajangre. Mukam karodi vachalam pangam langayade giring yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Chaitanyamishwaram Paramananda Madhavam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Speaking from Bhagavad Gita, it is chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga, and verses 27, 28, and 29. So 27. Prashandamanasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam ubeti shandarajasam brahmabhuta kalmasham. Prashandamanasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam ubeti shandarajasam brahmabhuta kalmasham. Prashandamanasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam ubeti shandarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. Yes, Renuka Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Prashantam manasam enam yoginam sukham atuttamam upaiti shantarajasam ब्रह्मभूतम् अकल्मषम्. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Maharaja.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prashantamanasahenam yoginam sukhauttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Snigdhamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। प्रशांत मनसंह्यनं योगिना सुखमुत्तमम् उपेति शान्तिरजसं ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Hare Krishna. Right. Renugamaji can read the translation.
The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest happiness. By virtue of his identity with Brahman, he is liberated. His mind is peaceful. His passions are quieted, and he is free from sin. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. 28. Yunjanneva Masadatmanam Yogi Vigadagalmashaha Sukhena Brahma Sansparsham Atyandam Sugamashnude. Yunjanneva Sadatmanam Yogi Vigadagalmashaha Sukhena Brahma Sansparsham Atyandam Sugamashnude. Yunjanneva Sadatmanam Yogi Vigadagalmasham Sukhena Brahma Sansparsham Atyandam Sugamashnude. Hare Krishna. Renugamaji.
Yunjan nevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaham sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukham ashnute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right. Rekha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma sansparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Right. Snigdhamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। जुञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी विगत कर्मशः सुखेन ब्रह्म संस्पर्शं अत्यंतं सुखमश्नुते। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Hare Krishna. Rekha Mataji can read the translation.
Steady in the self-being, free from all material contamination, the yogi achieves the highest perfection stage of happiness in touch with the supreme consciousness. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Text 29. Sarvabhudastamatmanam sarvabhudani chatmani Ichade yoga yuktatmam sarvatra samadarshana. Sarvabhudastamatmanam sarvabhudani chatmani Ichade yoga yuktatmam sarvatra samadarshana. Sarvabhudastamatmanam sarvabhudani chatmani Ichade yoga yuktatmam sarvatra samadarshanaha. Renugamaji.
Sarvabhuta
Atmanam. Bhudastamatmanam. Sarvabhudastamatmanam.
Sarvabhutasta atmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvasam darshana.
Sarvatra samadarshana.
Sarvatra samadarshana.
Right. Rekamaji. Krishna.
Sarvabhutastam mahatmanam sarvabhutani cha atmani vikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Snigdhamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। सर्वभूतस्थम् आत्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईश्यते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Hare Krishna. Can read the translation also.
Yes, Prabhu. A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every beings in me. Indeed, the self-realized man sees me everywhere. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashlakaya Chachurunmeridam Yenam Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthavidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadadhi Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagarajadam Saganaraganadhanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadhudam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalidam Shivishagam Vidam Sam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gobesha Gobiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namaste Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhan Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpadirubhescha Kriva Sindhubhya Evacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swaminidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prajarini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Pravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Prashantamanasam hyenam yoginam sugamottamam ubeti shantarajasam brahmabodha akalmasham. The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest happiness. By virtue of his identity with Brahman, he is liberated, his mind is peaceful, his passions are quieted, and he is freed from sin. So, the Brahma Buddha stage is now very nicely described by Krishna. And this is achieved or attained by constant practice, by very rigorous practice. I have seen that previous verses, how that is being attained. In verse 24, Krishna says, Sarva Sangalpa Pravan Kamam Stektva Sarvan Asheshadaha Manasendriya Gramam Viniyamya Samantada. So controlling the senses from all sides and controlling the desires, quieting the desires completely, not even leaving one sense behind, or rather uncontrolled. Complete control from all sides. That is what is required. So it means the mind is not allowed to, or senses are not allowed to run after sense objects, which is a natural tendency of the senses. And how this is being done? By a very sharpened or purified intelligence. Buddhya dhridigrihiteya. It is a intelligence which makes a discretion or makes a difference between what is good and what is not good. In sense, what is good for your spiritual life or your realization or your for soul, or what is not good. In a sense, it is able to perceive things as they are. Intelligence means understanding things as they are. And this intelligence the purified intelligence is coming from constant reading of the Shastras. So one who has got abundant faith in Shastras will naturally be inclined is called Shastrartha Vishwasa, faith in Shastras. Shastra Artha Vishwasa. Having faith in the conclusions of the Shastras. Not just Shastras, in the conclusions of the Shastras. So, by that procedure, he identifies that the senses or sense gratification is not good. Senses have to be controlled. So Shanai, very, very slowly, it starts controlling completely. And mind is not allowed to think about anything which is conducive for sense gratification. Should not think of anything else other than, in the case of this Ashtanga Yoga, focus on the Paramatma in the mind always. While in the case of devotion, we are our process is to chant. The Navada is there for us, but prominent is a chanting the holy name. And if you can continuously and very rigorously and dedicatedly chant with a very still mind, with full awareness, with full attention, as many rounds as possible, then slowly the mind will be cleared. But the mind will always fight. Initially, the mind will always fight. Mind always wants to come back to this natural indulgence in lust and other worldly feelings. By nature, it is very flickering, very flickery, always agitated easily. Asiram. Asiram means unsteady, not steady. Chanchalam, flickering. And this is very natural for the mind. To detach mind from the senses, it requires a lot of effort. To attach the mind to a holy name or to Krishna also requires a lot of effort. But very naturally, the mind can very easily go behind these desires and attach themselves to worldly things. So at that time, the yogi has to be aware of this condition and always bring back the mind. And in last class, we have mentioned how the mind acts, what are the obstacles while we are doing this yoga, whether Ashtanga Yoga or whether our chanting, devotion. The obstacles mentioned by H.G.Satyavrta in Madhurya Kadambini: Laya, Viksheba, Apradipatti, Kashaya, and Dasavada. Sigdamaji, had you listened to the last classes?
No, Prabhuji.
So you'll have to read it, hear it. Anyway, for your benefit, we will mention that Viksheba is thinking about mundane things, day-to-day happenings, which happened today or maybe happened yesterday, maybe week back or maybe years back also. So many things would have happened. So, and based on that, so many thoughts will be coming, very mundane things. Yesterday, I met my friend after 20 years, and we talked about long time about our past things, our school days, college days. So while chanting, these things may come up. Like that, there are so many mundane thoughts. What happened the other day when we went to market? What happened the other day when we went to celebration, Onam celebration? These things are there always. Mind is always dwelling on that. So these are mundane thoughts, which is classified as viksheba. Before that, there is a laya. Laya means sleep, sleepy. You get up in the morning, early morning, 4 o'clock, and start chanting. It's quite natural that you get sleepy. So laya means a tendency or natural things to go to sleep while chanting. It happens. You may be chanting and sometimes suddenly you stop. If you stop chanting, we don't know, we don't even, or we are not even aware that we have stopped chanting. After some time only we are aware. Then we wake up with a shake. Yes, I'm sleeping. So this happens. So this is an obstacle. So Viksheba is another obstacle. Apradipati is neither you are sleeping, no thoughts are coming to your mind, but there is no taste in, no relation, taste in chanting. It is a sort of dry chanting. This frequently happens in the initial stages. You don't get happiness or you don't get any pleasure in chanting. You may be listening to a mantra, but there is there is no attachment. And the fourth stage, the fourth obstacle is kashaya, means something that happens which is not your liking, which evokes your anger, dealings with your friends, dealing with your children, or sometimes whatever it is, some kind of things, and contact the outside world, which generates your anger. And you think about that instances. So this is kashaya, and the last one is rasavada, sensual thoughts coming in. So these are the obstacles while you are engaged in chanting. And whenever this comes, you have to bring back the mind again to you have to listen. So Srila Prabhupada said, just listen, listen. So don't let the mind slip away. Focus on listening, with full attention, so that nothing comes in between. This is sankalpa, that I will hear the mantra only, nothing else. So when you continue with that, then we enter the next, our verse, Prashantam Manasam Hyenam Yoginam Sukhamuttamam. Prashantam becomes very, very quiet, serene, mind is very cleared. It is not creating trouble like before. So for a long time, you're able to chant without any disturbance. Prashanta Manasam Hyenam. Then Shanta Rajasam. All these are rajasic passion, mode of passion. These are things which obstacles, creates obstacles are Rajogun. So Rajogun, the mode of passion is quietened. And then Upaiti Brahma Bhudam, and contact union with the Brahman, Supreme Brahman. Akalmasham, all the past sins are eradicated. And then that yogi, Sugam Uttamam, Yoginam Sugam Uttamam, he enjoys tremendous bliss. Previously, we had a lot of effort to bring the mind to chanting, but now very easily, the mind is now dotted on this chanting, deriving a lot of pleasure from chanting. So this stage is described by Sage Narada in his Narada Bhakti Sutra is there. It says, Tat prapya tat eva valokyadi, tadeva shnodi, tadeva bhashyadi, tadeva chintayadi. Tat prapya means that when you achieve that union, means that we are part of Krishna only. Tat prapya tat eva lokayadi. He always sees the super soul, always sees the super soul in his mind. Not even for a second it goes away. Tat eva avalokyadi, tadeva shnodi, listens only to the chanting only. Tadeva bhashyadi, speaks of that only. And tadeva chintayadi, thinks of that only. No other things come in between. So save manasa Krishna padaravindayo. So how do you know that we are achieving the stage? When we see that our mind is getting under control, when the mind is getting quietened, when the mind is getting serene, then we will know that we are quietly reaching that stage. So this is the highest bliss. So the more and more the mind is getting serene, more and more we are getting taste, then it's very easy. Then because once you develop a taste for chanting, you will not feel like stopping that. So from that stage, there is no comeback. It will not fall down. Then you go up, up, up only. So this is a stage which everybody should strive for. So the next stage, next verse, Krishna says, Yunjanneva sadatmanam yogidi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma sansparsham atyantam sugamashnude. Atyantam sugamashnude. Uttamam sugam previously, now this atyantam sugamashnude. In verse 5.21 also we will find that sugamachemashnude. In 5.21, we have seen that Brahma Spasha Asaktatma Vindedatmini Yat Sugam Sab Brahma Yoga Yuktatma Sugam Akshem Ashnude. Sugam Akshem Ashnude. Akshaya means unlimited. Ashnude means enjoys. So the unlimited joy, there is no limit to it. In case of material happiness, if you take a lot of effort, Himalayan effort, what you will get is a tiny pleasure, which is maybe like mustard seed. But in this case, in our spiritual life, in our devotion life, this one is always very, very, I can say, unlimited. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Anandambudi Vardhanam Pradipadam. Anandambudi means ocean of bliss. Pradipadam, all every step, every second, this is increasing. There is no saturation point, there is no limitation. This kind of happiness. So Imanacharya says, Yadavadi mama cheda Krishna padara vinde nava rasadhani udyadum dandumasi tadavadi bada nari sangame smaranyamane bhavadi mukhavihara sushtunushti vanamcha. So when you reach the stage of Krishna consciousness, Krishna prema, the The mind is always relishing newer and newer and newer rasas with Krishna. Every day you get more and more new rasas with Krishna. So at that time, if by chance, by what you call, by your previous contacts, sometimes if a thought of material thought, material desires or lust comes in between, we feel like spitting on the thought. It becomes very abominable for us. So this sukham cannot be compared with the material sukhas. In Srimad Bhagavatam, sukha is classified into 4. Tamasic sukham, rajasic sukham, sattvic sukham, and nirguna sukham. In Bhagavatam 11th canto 25, this 25 chapter is based on bhakti only. Verse 29, sattvigam sukham sumottamam vishayottamam tu rajasam tamasam moha dainottamam nirgunaha madavashrayam. Sattviga sukham atmottamam. Sattviga sukha is connected with practicing virtues, compassion, service to others, cultivation of knowledge, silencing the mind, stilling the mind. It includes even self-realization also. Tamasic happiness is a pleasure derived from narcotics, cigarettes, drinks, meat products, violence, sleep. This is a pleasure we derive from tamasic pleasure. And as is a pleasure, sense gratification of 5 senses of the mind. When the mind, the knowledge gathering senses are always indulging in these sense objects. This is rajasic sukham. But nirguna happiness is divine bliss from God. This is when you get self-realization, when you get united with Krishna, when you understand that you're part of Krishna, there is a bliss of Krishna which is infinite. This is the highest state of, and here is the most perfect state of happiness. So you say yunjan neva sadatmanam. That is when you constantly try for that. Yunjan neva sadatmanam. Steadily advancing. Then yogi vigata kalmasha is freed from all this contamination, material contamination. So it becomes Brahma sparsha. Brahma sparsha means contact with Paramatma, or realizing the Paramatma. First one is realizing the self. Second one is realizing the Paramatma. Verse 27 is realization of self, and verse 28 realization of Paramatma. So what happens next is mentioned in the next verse. Sarva bhudastam atmanam sarva bhudani chatmani ishade yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana. Krishna says, a true yogi observes in me and also sees everything in me. Indeed, the self-realized person, man, sees me everywhere. So this is a supreme situation when that man realizes that in every living entity, in every moving and non-moving entities, in every single minute atom, Krishna is situated as Paramatma. It says, Sarva Bhudastam Atmanam. In all the living entities, Atmanam here means a super soul. When you see that in all these moving and non-moving entities, you understand or you realize the presence of Paramatma. We are situated on one body, and we are aware of this body. But Paramatma is situated in every bodies. Sarabhudani Chatmani. And this all the living entities are inside Krishna, all situated in Krishna. Krishna is there in all living entities, in all atoms, and all living entities are situated in Krishna also. So how is that possible? Because the living entities as well as this whole universe is a product of Krishna's Bhiranga Shakti, material elements, ingredients. All material ingredients, 24 ingredients, make up these material universes and also our body. So we are the product of, or our body is a product of Krishna's material energy. Or the universe is also a product of Krishna's material energy. So that means this material universe and the bodies are resting in Krishna only. Understand that? So Krishna is a support for his material universe and Krishna is a support for our body. So that's why the Sarvabhudani Chatmani, every single entity is situated in Krishna only, in the material universe only. Although this Paramatma, although he is situated in all the bodies, he is not materially affected like our like us. Now, when we are in an unliberated state, when in a conditioned state, when you are inside the body of a cow or a dog or a man, we act like that. We have to bark if we are in the body of a dog. We have to bark like a dog. I mean, we are dogs at the time. So we are materially affected by the body which we have been awarded with according to our karma. But the super soul situated in all these entities is not materially affected at all. It is neutral there. So you find in that like what do you call, that is a Vidya Vinaya Sambhanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Cheva Shubhage Cha Pandidaha Samadarshina. In the Brahmanas, in the cow, in the dog, in the elephant, and also the dog eater, the super soul is equally present and is not affected by that. So the person who sees this is the presence. Ichade Yoga Yuktatma. He sees Krishna everywhere and everything is situated in Krishna and Krishna in everything. Sarvatra Samadashi, he understands that Krishna is all supreme soul is completely you can see neutral everywhere, is equally distributed without any favor, without any partiality. So this person, he sees everyone as a servant of Krishna. He sees everyone as a servant of Krishna. Now, we know that devotees are naturally, they understand the position as servants of Krishna. Then what about others, bhogis and all? How we can say that they are also servants of Krishna? That is because a servant means you're serving your supreme, or servant you're serving your master. Now, in case of devotee is always situated in Krishna's internal potency. Mahatma Sukaundeya, He says, Devim Pragridi Ashidaha, Devim Pragridi Ashidaha, Mahamanas Kauntaya, Devim Pragridi Ashidaha. Now, all those Mahatmas, great souls, they're all situated in my internal potency. So, naturally, they are servants of Krishna. Then, what about others? They are situated in Krishna's Maya. They are controlled by gunas. Gunas represent the Mayas. So, the person who is neglected of Krishna, he is under the authority of his guna only. He is acting according to his guna only. So he is serving the guna. And guna is a Maya, and Maya is the secondary or the material external energy of Krishna. So that way, he is indirectly a servant of Krishna. Although he is directly serving as a servant of this Maya illusion, comprising of three gunas, indirectly he is a servant of Krishna. So this person, this Yoga Yuktatma, one is perfect seer. He sees everyone as a servant of Krishna. So he is also very equal. He is equally disposed to everyone. In that 9th verse, you have seen that this quality of self-realized person says, Suhan Mitra Ari Udasena Madhyastha Desha Bandishu Sadushavijapabeshu Samabuddhir Vishishyade. He is situated, regards the honest well-wisher, the friends, enemies, envious, the pious, the sinner, and who are indifferent, impartial. Everyone he sees as equally. He says a saint as well as a sinner. The saint is situated in the internal potency and sinner is situated in the external potency. So he sees everyone as equal only. So such is inner version of a realized devotee who has realized the Paramatma, and he is deriving a lot of pressure, and nothing can shake him from this state. So we will see then in next verses what other degrees of self-realization, Brahman realization, up to verse 32 it will go. So thank you very much. Any clarification required?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, Rajasikam, Sukam, what is Prabhu?
Rajasic Sukha means pleasure from sense objects. Sense, even the pressure sense object, you have this rupa, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. These are senses, and the corresponding sense objects is same, like sound, form,
Seeing,
smell,
touching,
taste, and touch.
taste.
So when you indulge in this, like eating very palatable dishes, listening to some music, seeing some nice forms, and touching some nice forms, means engaging in sensual activities. These are the pressure which is derived by people in Rajogun. For them, this is happiness.
Satvika?
Sattva means he is situated in a very sattvic mode. So he is compassionate, he is concerned others. His pressure is by reading some books, nice books. And he's a nice musician, not a rocky star and all that. And he's almost in good control of the mind. So this is a quality of a sattvic guna. It derives a lot of pressure, sukham, on this. So in chapter 18, you'll find that in sukham, sattva sukham, sattvic sukham, beginning it will be there will be struggle, but the end it is like amrita. In the beginning it's like poison, but the end it is like nectar. Rajogun, the pleasure in Rajogun, sukham, it is in Bhagavad Gita only. The first one I was quoting in Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita, verse 18, so chapter 18, you'll find verses 31, 32, and 33. In verse 37, you'll find Yadadagre Vishamiva Pariname Sugam Amurdottamam Tat Sugam Satvigam Proktam Atma Buddhi Prasajatam. That which is in the beginning may be like a poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization. Yes, self-realization is given there. And in one awakens one to self-realization. It's not that you are self-realized, but it is that it is awakening you, but you feel the need for, your desire for self-realization is there. Awakens one self-realization is said to be the happiness in the mode of goodness. And in the case of Rajogun, it says, Vishendra Samyoga Yat Tat Agre Amurdopam Pariname Vishameva Tat Sugam Rajasamspradam. That happiness which is derived from contact with the senses, with their sense objects, and which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be the nature of passion. Verse 38. And verse 39, Yadagre Chanubandecha Sukham Mohamatmanaha Nidra Alasya Pramothotam Tat Tamasamudahudam. That happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be the nature of ignorance. So, Sattvic person is awakened to self-realization. Rajogun is aware of self-realization, but is not interested in striving for that, because for him, it is very hard, because following the Shastras, he doesn't like that. He take the effort to for him. So he although he's aware of this concept, but he's not trying for that. And is the case of the Tamogun, he is not at all bothered. He's not even aware of this concept of self, that we are souls only. And he's deriving pleasure from narcotics, sleep, violence, all those things. This is a pressure of the tamas.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Snigdha, you can render.
Yes, Prabhuji. Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Praladaladaine, Hiranyakashipurvakshaha, Silatankanakhalai, Ito Narsingho Parato Narsingho, Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsingha, Bahir Narsimha Hridayir Narsimha, Narsimha Madi Sharanang Prapade, Tabakara Kamala Bare, Nagam Adbhuta Srungam, Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhrungam, Keshabadrita Narahari Rupa, Jaya Jagadish Hari, Jaya Jagadish Hari, Jaya Jagadish Hari, Jaya Narsingadev, 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 Jaya Narsingadev, Jaya Narahari, 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 Jaya Narahari, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Om Ugrang Birang Mahavishnum Jalantang Sarvatomukham Narsingang Vishanang Bhadrang Mrityu Mrityu Namamyaham. Om Ugrang Birang Mahavishnum Jalantang Sarvatomukham Narsingang Vishanang Bhadrang Mrityu Mrityu Namamyaham. Om Ugrang Birang Mahavishnum Jalantang Sarvatomukham Narsingang Vishanang Bhadrang Mrityu Mrityu Namamyaham. Jai Narsingha, Sri Narsingha, Jai Jai Sri Narsingha. Prahladesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Jai Nrsimha Sri Nrsimha Jai Jai Sri Nrsimha नृसिंह प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मा मुख पद्मा भृंग जय नृसिंह श्री नृसिंह जय जय श्री नृसिंह प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मा मुख पद्मा भृंग सर्व विघ्न विनाशक नृसिंह भगवान की जय
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 पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
कृपा
सिंधु भयवच पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
नंदगुड़ी वैष्णव वृंद की
जय
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय
जय
गोपीमान